of past, because I think all of you know past today is not the same as past of the time of Yusuf Rawat and Fazl, and because of that, Amanah Party is trying to promote what is known as post-Islamism nowadays. I wouldn't go into details of that, but I think it's time for us to hear from him, good friend of mine. Yeah, so yeah, you can have. Yeah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Peace be upon all of you. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man tabi'ahu wa wala. Terima kasih kepada Datuk Dr. Farouk Musa. Indeed, he is my schoolmate. We were together in the alma mater of Penang Free School, the oldest school in Southeast Asia. And I think other panelists that have just spoken, Dr. Abdul Rahman Al-Ma'mari spoke on behalf of the Yemenis abroad, especially in Malaysia. Dr. James, who spoke on the Saudi policy against the Yemenis issue. Dr. Chandra Muzaffar, my dear friend, of course, I've known him since I began knowing politics and justice. I've already read his article in the Just magazine, and before that, Aliran. And also distinguished guests, Tan Sri Razali, Tan Sri Dr. Zulkifli, Professor Dr. Zulkifli, and dear excellencies of all the ambassadors today. And also we have with us the Patriot, the retired General Armies, together with us also in this session. Thank you very much for making it today. All of the speakers have highlighted their points of view in their own premises. I would not want to repeat it because I have chosen a new premise to talk about the crisis in Yemen, a little bit philosophy, but also I'm trying to trickle down on the practical aspect of how other nations, for the future or to move forward, to avoid such circumstances happen. And it could emulate a very good example that in spite of what we talk about, wars, killings, malnutrition, famine, there are still hope in other regions of this country, especially Malaysia and Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, I will begin with the fact that whatever we have said about the government policy, I represent the government as a member of the cabinet, but I do have my preferred values that I should refer to as to become the government or the minister with principle. In that light, there is no other way I can do it but to look into myself first as a Muslim. What is it that in me that I see in all these issues that is taking place all over the world, including our precious Yemen? I will begin with the firman of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, as that is my most preferred values. Allah has said about the value of humanity and human dignity. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. From Al-Isra 70, Allah has said, we have honored the sons of Adam, that is human being, provided them with transports and land on sea and on air, and on land and sea. Give them for sustenance things good and pure, and conferred on them special favors above a great part of our creation. It all begins here. my dear brothers and sisters. Once we look into ourselves to respect human dignity, then there is no place in this world that killing, slaughtering, and war will take place. Because it is this dignity that is lost in us. Leaders, fighters, interventionists, and even the ministers themselves. So that is why we have to come back to the concept of human values. It has been mentioned by my good brothers, Dr. Chandra Muzaffar. Why are we not talking about Cuba? Why we are not talking about Venezuela? Why are Muslims only talking about when Muslim is at stake? Why? This is about humanity. This is about وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. And God did not say وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا مُسْلِمِينَ bas. But He said Adam, Bani Adam. Everyone is the sons of Adam here. Black or white, Arabs or non-Arab, Muslim or non-Muslim. We are the creation of God. And we need to come back to these values before we can make any policy. It does not end there. The whole structure will tell you that whatever leads to war, aggression, that sprouts from the factor of hatred, that sprouts from the factor of racism, that sprouts from the factor of sectarianism, are all been said clearly in Islam. I can conclude all those values with one sentence from Al-Ma'idah 32, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Min ajli dhalika katabna ala bani Israel annahu man qatala nafsan bighayri nafsin aw fasadin fil ard faka'annama qatala an-nasa jami'a wa man ahyaha faka'annama ahya an-nasa jami'a وَلَقَدْ جَاءَتْهُمْ رُسُلُنَا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ ثُمَّ إِنَّ كَثِيرًا مِنْهُمْ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فِي الْأَرْضِ لَمُسْرِفُونَ. Allah has said it very clearly. I'm talking about my preferred values before I talk about policies. On that account, we ordained for the children of Israel that if anyone slew or killed a person, it would be as if he slew or killed the whole people. One soul being killed, it is as if the whole soul in the entire world have been killed. This is the imagination of the words of God. Killing one means killing the whole entire nation. If you times that with what happened in Yemen, plus Palestine, plus other nations, plus Rohingya, then you will see the sheer amount of transgression that we have made in this world. Allah said that if anyone saved a life of the whole people, today we are doing things of saving life. Today we are saving people's life, a humanitarian mission. And we should applaud and laud global peace mission for such a big task to save the life. Because although they are just saving the life in Yemen, actually they are saving the life of the whole entire soul in this universe. And that is very applauding. Of the whole people then, although they came to them our message with clear signs, this is very clear signs. Nobody wants to be killed or nobody wants to kill someone. That is the clear signs that has been taught in all the books, inherited from all the books of the Jews, of the Christians, of the Muslims, the Ahlul Kitab. And definitely, it goes in line with all the religion of the world, who do not promote violence and killing. I don't know if there is any religion that promotes violence and killing. Violence and killing does not come from any form of religion, because violence and killing has no religion. This is the preferred values that I was talking about. But yet, this is the challenge, dear brothers and sisters. Even after that, many of them continue to commit excess in the land, that continue to kill, that continue to transgress All this has been ordained by God. Ladies and gentlemen, I begin here so that I am very clear. The issue in Yemen and also other parts of the world should be looked into the context of human dignity, human values, and human rights issues. Not on the context of just belief. Because if you have this clarity in your mind, then we can feel free to talk about suffering without being binded or bonded with other issues that ultimately will defeat the purpose of these preferred values. This is for me, as a Muslim, this is what I believe. I don't know about you, but this is about me, what I believe. Because if any policy that should take place in any government of the world, including Malaysia, this should be the preferred values. And because of that, Tan Sri Razali has pointed out rightly, although some people say this is a local issue, this is about Yemen, this is about Saudi, or this is about Iran, this is about Malaysia, this is about Myanmar. Why are you interfering? Let us solve our problem. Yes, that has been the practice of non-interference. We do not interfere to instigate your problem. We do not interfere to monopolize your economy. We do not instigate to create havoc in your political stability. But definitely, in as far as human values and concern is concerned, then we do not know any geographical boundaries, because we are human. You can dictate whatever policies in your own country, and that's what leaders do. Give prosperity to your people. Create harmony and unity to your people. Give light to all those who are oppressed. Be a strong nation. Prosper thy neighbor, as Tun Mahathir has clearly said it in the United Nations address. Malaysia wants to become a country that do not fight against any other country. Nor is it interested to be dragged into their conflict. But we are very clear on the issue of human values, atrocities, transgression, killings, war, that has got nothing to do with the policy of development, but this is something to do with destruction of human values and human dignity. Then I believe Malaysia should take its stand. And that is exactly what we did. It is translated into our concern about Yemen. If I may, there was a lot of question why we in the first place participated in the Saudi-led collusion. I've asked this question when I was an opposition member on record. I have asked this question. That time, Hishamuddin Tun Hussein was the defense minister. I've asked the question, I've debated in the parliament that Malaysia should not interfere by sending army troops, not on United Nations accord, but sending based on nation to nation, which has never been preceded before. I've questioned that. Malaysians sent two group, one which is a small 42 officers in the Operasi Yaman 1. Reason being, they were just operating in the operation room. They are not involved in the attack. But nevertheless, on Operasi Yaman 2, they have sent another troop in the coalition with the Saudi-led coalition against Yemen. I've asked the question of why is it that if 42 troops were sent in the operation room that you have to send all your other devices? They say they want to learn. You don't learn by helping others to kill other people. That's a bad way to learn. I've made a PC after that. And the defense minister refuted that and said, this is a false allegation. But Alhamdulillah, when Pakatan Harapan came into power with the will of the people, through a democratic peace process, we have taken a very clear stand on our presence in Yemen. And it is against the new government policy of not interfering or dragging into the other people's war. And in May 2018, we have withdraw all our armies in Yemen to reflect our clear stand on this issue. Alhamdulillah. Ladies and gentlemen, there are not only Yemen, there are other issues, including what happened when few people who are oppressed in the majority country came and see me as a minister of religious affairs. I welcome anyone to come and see me. Ahlan wa sahlan, wa marhaban bikum. Al-bab maftuh. The door is open. Please, be farme. And if anyone wants to come and see me and talk about they've been deprived of their rights, they've been oppressed, they have been killed, or they've been deprived of their right to believe, rights of their faith, definitely I will listen. Because Islam do not compel others. Islam is very clear on the freedom of faith. To you, your faith. To me, mine. This is what I believe. This is what you believe. Alhamdulillah. It is not my duty to say you are astray. It is the duty of Allah to tell you that. My duty is to engage. My duty is to dialogue. My duty is to get the message of peace, which is the concern of all religion. And if we can work on that basis, there is no reason for a minister not to meet anyone who wants to spread the message of peace. I come to the last point. How do we trickle down into our policy today, especially in my ministry? We know that what happened in Yemen is not about sectarian violence. It's not about Shia and Sunni fighting one another. It was never before in Iraq also. But this sectarianism has been exploited to a certain extent for the purpose of sentiments and emotions, so that people are driven away by the fact that transgression has happened, killing has happened. Well, some people might say, good, so that the Shia get killed. Wal-iyazu billah. Good, so that the Sunni get killed. Wal-iyazu billah. Sunni or Shia, if they get killed, both of them fight in the name of sectarianism, they will be condemned to hell. Because Islam is a religion that do not promote hatred against any form of sectarianism. But yet they use this form. They say this is because of sectarian violence, which we say, no, this is geopolitical. This is about another country trying to exert its power. This is about geopolitical in the region. A big brother feeling threat, another big brother say, hey, this is mine. And they write on Islam, and they write on sectarianism. I cannot and will not accept such fact. Not only me, all of us must stand against all this, because this is about human values. This is about human dignity. Yes, we heard about a lot of wars in the Middle East. Everything is about war. Everything is about killing. Yes, we hear about Rohingya being slaughtered. Yes, we hear about other countries where there are war taking place. But I think a way forward for us today, at the end of the day, is we should show an example to the world that in our country, in your country, there is hope for us to live in peace. There is hope for us to peacefully coexist together with differences of religion, with differences of opinion. By all means, this is the creation and the signs of God. Are you going against the sign of God? وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةٍ لِلْعَالِمِينَ. Of one of his signs that you see, there are creation of the earth and the heaven, and also the creation of many languages and colors. That includes religion, that includes race, tribes, ethnicity. Why? All this is a signs of God. لِلْعَالِمِينَ. For those who have brain to think, not for those who are brainless to kill others because you are different from me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big task for Malaysia. I have come up with a policy of what is derived from the spirit of Al-Quran. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We do not send you, O the Prophet of God, but to give peace and compassion to the whole entire universe. Against all form of hatred, extremism, radicalism, because these are the fragile points where those brainless people use to create hatred and war against one another. It is a huge task, I believe, yes. But nevertheless, because of our inspiring hope to see that the world can be filled with peace, and that is the message of humanity, we believe we can be the model, because Malaysia is so diverse. Unfortunately, politicians use this diversity for their own interests. I do not intend to do that when we come into power. I intend to get all Malaysian under one roof, being a Malaysian first, before telling you are a Chinese, or you are an Indian, or you are a Malay. Nevertheless, this hope will spur the hope to the whole world that this region, the ASEAN region, is still the region that can accept values of diversity. We can still accept the wave of different religion that comes into this region, but still we are intact. And for that, I do not tolerate any form of radicalism or extremism, because that will defeat the purpose of Rahmatan lil Alamin. And in order to do that, number one, the clarity is very important. Number two, it should translate into programs. And number three, I open up my hand to work with anyone. For that matter, we have made the first in its kind dinner with all the OIC ambassadors in order for us to share this vision, so that there is still hope that they can bring back, and we can learn also from them. And inshallah, we will also try to meet the European community countries. We'll try to meet the South American countries, because if we can share these values of compassion, then the whole world will again be at peace. Sekian, terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mujahid. Actually, I was touched by the verse that was quoted by Dr. Mujahid just now from Surah Al-Ma'idah. وَمَنْ أَحْيَاءَ النَّاسِ فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَاءَ النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. Whoever saves a single soul, it is as if he has saved the entire mankind. Actually, that verse, or a similar meaning, was also in Deuteronomy. When I watched the movie, The Schindler's List, that was the first verse that was being printed on the movie screen. Whoever saves a single soul, it is as if he has saved the entire mankind. It was in Deuteronomy as well. So I believe that, it's a very important verse, and it's very important for us to basically to look beyond the divide of Sunni and Shiite. Now, the issue is that, Dr. Mujahid has mentioned a lot about this, but I think we have to put things into action. You know, it is not enough for us to say that we have to look beyond Sunni and Shia divides, but every Friday when we go for Friday prayer, then we hear the khatib at the mimbar would be vilifying Shiites. Every single khutbah of the second khutbah, especially in Selangor, the state of Selangor. I do not know about other states, not in Wilayah, of course, where I normally observe my Friday prayer at the Stag or at Putrajaya. But in Selangor, I was told that, you know, like in every second khutbah, they were vilifying the Shiites. So how do we get across this? You know, I think it must start somewhere. And I believe, you know, in the olden days, during the time of the Umayyads, they hated Ali, Imam Ali, or we call some Sunni Muslims call Khalifa Ali ibn Abi Talib, and his progeny, Hussein and others. They despised them very much. And, you know, every khutbah they vilified Imam Ali and his sons and grandsons. It was only after, you know, when Umar ibn Abdul Aziz came to power, then he put a stop to it. He said, no more nonsense, okay? No more vilifying of Imam Ali and his sons and grandsons. And until today, for hundreds of years, we still remember Umar bin Abdul Aziz for doing that, for stopping the nonsense. And I believe for hundreds of years to come, people would remember Mujahid Yusuf Rawal for putting a stop to this kind of nonsense in this country.